Today we're very lucky to have a familiar voice here in the studio, Megan Constantin. You know her as the assistant manager of KRVS and host of Encore and Après-Midi. She's also a UL Lafayette alum and member of the band Timon, among others. Thank you so much for saying yes to this interview. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
So we're here to talk about Mardi Gras, particularly the country Mardi Gras traditions of South Louisiana, and I know these run deep in your veins, and I'd love to discuss more. But first, just to kind of set the scene for people who have not experienced it for themselves, can you describe what it is like, what it sounds like, what it looks like?
Sure. So Mardi Gras in the country, a Mardi Gras run, a Courir de Mardi Gras. They are loud. They're usually muddy. There are chickens involved that people are chasing. Roosters, chickens. Our Mardi Gras is even exploring with letting the littles, because we have kids in our run, chase little bunny rabbits.
Oh, that's adorable.
So they have like a chance to catch something. And people are masked and, I mean, dressed head to toe, covering every aspect of their body, their neck, their hands. You can't see any of their bodies. And the purpose is to remain completely anonymous, because this is a little parade of people begging from door to door for ingredients or money, whatever anyone can give in the community to, at the end of the day, create this event for the whole community to partake in. It's an end of winter celebration when, supplies are historically had been limited at the end of winter. Everyone's run out of anything they saved in the fall. And so they're just pooling everything together and hosting the entire community to celebrate and just bring everyone together and hopefully eat some good warm food.
Well, so what are your personal first memories of Mardi Gras? When you think back, what stands out to you?
I was terrified. As a little kid, it's pretty terrifying to see Mardi Gras for the first time because they are completely covered and they don't talk. They make noises like, ooh. They just make noises, and they don't use. So they might be speaking in French, like with their hand out asking for money, 5 sous, 5 sous, donnez quelque chose pour les Mardi Gras, something like that, or just making noises, and they're being very loud, very crazy. They have bells all over them, and for me, it was really scary, and it is for lots of kids. Uh-huh. Because there's a lot of them all at once, begging everybody. And so my grandparents owned a restaurant my grandmother still owns it, out between Basile and Iota. And at that restaurant, they host the Mardi Gras inside the restaurant, I think 7 days leading up to Mardi Gras Day.
Wow.
Yeah, there's 2 runs almost every single night. They have a women's run, they have a men's run, they have the children's run, and a co-ed run. And so we would attend all of that as kids, and it's all fun and games, but as a kid it's scary, and they just want money, they just want to dance with you, they just want to poke fun. And then there's the captains who are, of course, following them, trying to keep them in line, as it were. Because Mardi Gras is supposed to be about no rules, but there are these unspoken rules of what you can and can't do and all related around respect for property and other people. So it is all fun and games, but there is a level of respect and trust that you can't go past. But it was all fun, even though we were kind of scared. And you start to learn people's costumes. And so the next year, you'd see the same person who danced with you last year, maybe. And if you were lucky, they'd give you a little peek under their mask of who they were,
That's
and
so fun.
And they all smelled like cigarettes and Miller Lite.
Well, there's that aspect of it as well. And just in you describing it, like it's important for maybe people who don't understand, like there are the people who are sort of the actors, like acting out this tradition, and then there are the people who are watching it, the audience, so to speak, but it is like an interactive experience. So yeah, I can imagine as a kid. It's overwhelming. And even I think to some people who just go, they've never been to the Courir before and they are curious and they just show up, it can be like, wait, what am I watching?
Right. And I think if no one explains to you beforehand what's going on, I don't know if my family did or didn't explain to me. I can't remember that specifically. But if you're not given any context, it does look insane. Yeah.
But there's tradition. There's a lot of meaning and symbolism behind it. I'd love to talk about that and specifically about the music. So I know you studied both French and Francophone culture and then taught in the traditional music program. So both of those are kind of threads that are woven through these Mardi Gras celebrations. And you probably obviously experienced them growing up, but then also looked at them through a more academic lens. So what's something that you learned later or have learned recently that kind of was different than what you assumed growing up?
I think one of the most startling facts was that, and this is just from being isolated in this part of the world, one of the most startling facts that I was exposed to was that end of winter celebrations happen all over the world. And it is really neat to see the ones that still take place in French-speaking Canada that look very similar to what we experience here. They're all named a little differently. They all have different songs and melodies, but they all are tied to that same sense of community, of bringing people together, reminding everyone that you're not alone. We're all in this together, and we're here to help each other, and just all reinforcing that. And then, of course, learning all the words and what the words meant to the Mardi Gras song, right? And there's so many different versions of the Mardi Gras song in Louisiana. But learning all the words and the different things they make fun of, like the English government, you know, back in the day. And so those kind of things were interesting to find out. And then one other thing, while I was digging in the archives as a student, I ran across Mr. Larry Miller's archive, and he interviewed a bunch of people in the Iota area who were my great uncles and cousins and friends about the Timamu Mardi Gras where I grew up in Iota.
Oh, wow.
And so I got to hear all these interviews of my great uncles talking about how the Timamu Mardi Gras fell off at some point. And it fell off because the Mardi Gras, whoever was in charge of it wasn't running it very well. And I'm talking about like the 40s and 50s. And when it fell off and they quit doing it because the Mardi Gras were just destroying people's property. They didn't have a good reputation anymore. And it was doing the opposite of what Mardi Gras is supposed to do. And so the Frugés in Iota, my grandfather and his brothers, Gerald Fruget specifically, was the captain for a very long time, and his son Todd is now the captain. Gerald passed away suddenly in the early 2000s, I think. And so hearing all of them talk about how they picked the Mardi Gras back up was really special for me, and I just found that digging while I was preparing a Mardi Gras show.
Wow, that's so neat. That's so neat. And then that's also something you've kind of done is like continuing that tradition as well. in a new way. So that's very cool. We're here now, like sort of in the midst of, I think maybe when this airs, it'll be, what they call in New Orleans, like deep Mardi Gras or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know in addition to promoting traditional Louisiana French music through your radio show, you're also a performer and, perform these songs all around the country and the world. So how do you see the Mardi Gras songs sort of like fitting into this canon of traditional music here in Louisiana?
I mean, the Mardi Gras song is almost everybody's favorite song. So immediately it's there immediately that it's probably one of the most requested songs.
Really?
To play. I mean, people love it.
Yeah.
They feel a certain way when they hear it, especially if they have experienced Mardi Gras by running it. The Mardi Gras song just, some people have countdown timers for Christmas or for, their birthday or a loved one's birthday. My brother has like a countdown for Mardi Gras that he sets on Ash Wednesday.
That's
he
so
sets
cute.
the countdown. And so if you've experienced it, it's just people just hold that song dear to their
and
hearts.
music, like you said, it evokes these it like jogs our memories of all these times. And
Of course. Yeah. And it sounds different because it's got a minor chord in it. So it sounds a little different there as well. So it stands out a little from other Mardi Gras, Cajun and Creole songs that people are used to hearing. And yeah, just ignites the audience like nothing else does.
Do people like when you're outside of Louisiana, do people get the reference or do they still request it there?
Oh, so we travel a lot around the country, and it doesn't matter if it's Mardi Gras season or not. If there's a Cajun band, it's usually Mardi Gras themed. Doesn't matter when it is.
They just want it. They just want that.
It's purple, gold, and green, and there are beads. So yeah,
even though there are no beads in the country Mardi Gras, usually.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'll say the Timamu Mardi Gras is red, yellow, and green.
Okay, so it has different colors.
It has different colors because they were using the paint they had, and they were all farmers, and they didn't have purple tractors, but they did have a red tractor.
Oh, wow.
And I don't want to say it wrong, but it is one... I don't want to say it wrong. I don't want to pick the wrong tractor, but there's a red tractor. And that's the reason they had red paint.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
So I know you said you were part of this, you sort of experienced this run as a spectator growing up, and then all over Acadiana and surrounding areas, there are these runs. Some of the bigger ones, like in Mamou, you can just go and watch and be a spectator, and some are smaller community Mardi Gras, some are more of like a friends and family experience, which I know you're kind of part of one of those that's just a smaller group and doesn't have as many spectators. So I'm just curious, as your role in kind of carrying forth this tradition that your uncles and people in your family had. You have this sort of, it's been, I don't know, it's not like a lineage, but in some ways it's kind of been passed down, and you have this role as the capitaine, which is special. How do you look at that? How do you feel about that?
I never thought I'd be a capitaine. Especially with the way that the Mardi Gras act in Timamu, because it's just a full-on wrestling match, which is something I never wanted to participate in, wrestling matches. So I capitaine the Ossun Mardi Gras just north of Scott, and similar to the Timamu Mardi Gras, there was a presence of a Courir there, but it died off, not because of any misbehavior or anything like that. I think people just got busy with life, but Barry Soleil and his friends picked it back up when their kids were younger. And then, soccer happens or whatever, who knows. And so it kind of died down. And then I think I was there for the second year after they had kickstarted it again when we were all in college. And, I was going to class on the third or fourth floor of Griffin, and Barry walked up to me and he got on one knee and said, "Would you like to be the capitaine of the Ossun Mardi Gras?" And I just looked at him and I was like, "Please stand up. Just please stand up." I don't know, I guess. Like, what does it entail? He's like, "You're a really good singer, so you'd be really good at leading the chants." And
I kind of have chills, like, just hearing that story. Imagining it.
This is ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But it was really funny. Didn't ever think I would be one, but I certainly take it very seriously. The role that you represent in the community for the people who are at the houses.
Because you're the leader. You're sort of, if people don't know, the capitaine is sort of like the ring leader of the circus, or I don't know if you have a better analogy.
Right. Yeah, no, it's kind of like that. And we have a whole team that helps plan the Mardi Gras, right? And so my biggest role is on the day of Mardi Gras, where I greet the hosts and politely ask for permission for everyone to come in, the Mardi Gras to come in onto their property, even though they've already basically allowed it. But sometimes we do get new houses of people who just see us walking down the road and they wave us down. And I go and talk to them because I am not masked. The capitaine doesn't wear a mask. And so we look like a sane person.
You do have a costume, though.
I wear a cape, yes, which could be dangerous. When you're dealing with Mardi Gras, they do like to throw it over your head. But so I do wear a cape, a cowboy hat, cowgirl hat. And I also have a little co-capitaine. My son has been a capitaine since he was like 18 months old.
I love that. It's very cute.
And Leanne Sheremy is also a capitaine with us too. But the Mardi Gras give us the money, but we ask for permission to go onto the property, and we're the sane party of the bunch.
Yes.
Who interacts with homeowners on the day of. And the Mardi Gras are there to entertain them with dancing, with shenanigans of all types, like tying people's shoes together while they're visiting with someone else. Things of that nature.
I know when my daughter participated, she loved like an excuse to play tricks and break the rules. I know that's always like a fun part for the kids.
Yeah.
When they're participating as part of the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And I think what you said was really neat because, like these traditions, they need people to carry them forward. So if our children or the next generation want to experience this, there has to be people taking up the charge and actually performing it and organizing it. And so how do you kind of see, it's a new generation, right? Like Dr. Barry Ancelet has passed the torch, and it's a new generation of people sort of not just in Ossun, but all over who are kind of now in charge. So how do you see it changing and evolving?
I honestly think that many of the courtiers around the area are staying very true with how Mardi Gras has been celebrated. The spirit of it is the same. There may be more people invited from outside to participate. And I'll tell you that every Mardi Gras who is from that area, wherever they celebrate, they let the other people know this is how we act and this is, why. Yeah. Everyone's educating any newcomers about the reasons why you do something a certain way and on what you do.
Right. Like how to perform. Because when you're saying like the Mardi Gras, you're meaning the performers, the revelers. That's like referred to as the Mardi Gras in this sense.
Yeah, those are the Mardi Gras.
Yeah. I love that.
And so I don't think besides allowing more new people, I don't think they're changing it too much.
But just the fact that they're doing it, I guess, is significant. The fact that, you, as you know, if it's okay, I'm going to call you like a young person, but
Sure.
like, or kind of like with young children, like you're carrying this forward, and hopefully, like as your son and your daughter see you doing this, like it'll instill something in them.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope it does. I think for us growing up, we saw the importance of it, for the community. And I mean, it's probably one of the reasons that I'm involved with it, is that I felt that draw. Even though it's not the Timamu Mardi Gras, I'm doing it, but this is where I live now, and I don't live in Ossun, but we include those families as much as possible, and we're taking some different approaches every single year to be more inclusive of the Ossun community, to remind them, hey, this Mardi Gras, the Courir, is back. It's a walking Mardi Gras. Join us, or, just be waiting at your house on the day of to see us. And so yeah, I think growing up in it was certainly a draw into continuing it on. And I hope all of our kids that participate, like all the Mardi Gras kids that participate with us, will see that and appreciate it, and then it means something to them, and that they'll carry it on some way.
I love that. Thank you. And I know, being at the university, of course, what you do with your show, playing songs from the archives, and you were recently inducted into the Center for Louisiana Studies Order of the Palmetto. So you mentioned Barry Onsley and sort of as a mentor, but why is it important that at this university we're sort of fostering, even though, we don't have a Mardi Gras run as part of the university, but it kind of lives in the Francophone studies, the traditional music, the Center for Louisiana Studies. Even here, you're playing the Mardi Gras song on KRVS. Why is that valuable?
I think, well, first I don't know if we still call ourselves this, but aren't we l'Université des Acadiens? Like, we are the region's public university. And so I think recording, documenting, presenting the region's culture in all the different ways that it's celebrated as it relates to Mardi Gras is important. There's so many different ways to celebrate a country Mardi Gras. I grew up with the Timamu one, but there's different kinds of country Mardi Gras, Courir de Mardi Gras. But I think it's the university's job to understand the culture around it, where it sits. Those are its students most of the time. And also, it's a draw for any of the international and national students. I think the appeal to those students to experience something different, I think if the university represents that well and presents it well, that is a draw for people outside of this area. It feels very
special to, like people can go to parades, but this is something, it's totally separate.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, anything else or any suggestions if people are interested in learning more or attending or, anything we didn't talk about?
You could just search for Courir de Mardi Gras, Courir. And I think, the Timamu Mardi Gras in Iota is very public. They have a street dance with it, but you can follow the Mardi Gras in their trailers around the countryside. Of course, the Mamu Mardi Gras is really big, the Baziol Mardi Gras. I mean, there's so many of them, so it's not hard to find. Just look at your local tourism, your parish tourism site, and you'll be able to find one to experience it for yourself. And you don't have to sign up first thing. I would watch one before you sign up.
Be in the audience first.
Right. But if you do plan on going, just prepare to have a costume, a mask, and a capuchon of some sort.
It's important. Well, thank you so much. This has been really, really fun. I appreciate it. And happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.